What's up, guys? Got another video, and today what we're going to be talking about is this blog that I came across and comes across my news feed every once in a while. This is from the website Atlanta Black Star. So, and I guess because I live in Atlanta and I know people who are in Atlanta who are subscribed to these guys' page, I guess that's why I get the news feeds or whatever. But I came across this very interesting article or blog that they put out, and it's talking about 5 religious practices that black people still do today. And it's basically, I want to touch on that because they say it's religious, but it seems like all 5 of the things that they're talking about has to do with Christianity. So instead of them saying 5 things that Christians still do today, they tried to make it seem like it was just like religion in general. They never mentioned anything about Islam or Buddhism or anything like that. They just basically want to focus on Christianity. So that's what prompted me to do this video. Now, one thing that I do know about this site, Atlanta Black Star, they are one of these pro-black websites, and they've kind of been known for giving out false information and some fake news and all of that stuff. So, I never really take the time to address a lot of the things that they put in their blogs and videos and posts on Facebook, because I never really, it's like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, people put out false information and fake news all the time. So if I took my time trying to address everything that these guys put out, I wouldn't have any time to do anything other than that. But what I want people to realize is that websites like this, they have this agenda. And first of all, we have to understand the mindset that these guys are coming from. Now, this pro-black movement, along with the black nationalists, black conscious community, all of that, you have to understand that these people, they hate the Bible. Okay? These guys hate the Bible, and they believe that black people are only Christian because of slavery, of what their ancestors went through. And that type of ideology is nothing more than a racist leftist ideology. And that's what it boils down to. They don't understand that the ideology that they have, that somehow Christianity, it was, somehow made up by white people, and it has been used by white people to take control of black people and all of that stuff. That's not an original ideology. I actually get a lot of white atheists who tell me, oh, well, the only reason why you're a Christian is because, your ancestors. And it's just like, well, how do you know? How do you know that I'm not the descendants of, first generation Nigerians? How do you know that my grandparents didn't come from Africa back in the 50s from Nigeria to have a better life in America, and my mother and father are Nigerian, and I'm just a Nigerian guy born and raised in America? How do you not know that? But the thing is that it's a very racist ideology, and it's just so ironic how the black conscious movement, they pick this up. They pick up this mindset. And what they believe is that the things that they've seen in church is basically what all black American Christians do in church. But then when they run into a guy like me who's able to address these guys and go toe-to-toe with them about like real history, church history, and real knowledge, then that's when you get you're just an Uncle Tom, you're just an Uncle Coon. You're just a coon and Uncle Ruckus and all of this crap. So, but anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to let you guys know what type of mindset is behind these type of articles and all of this stuff. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get right into this article. I got clips and I got pictures of it. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to read along and look at these pictures. And I'm just going to dissect it like I usually do and address each topic point by point. So without further ado, guys, let's just go ahead and get right into it. All right, so like I said, the title of this article that comes from Atlanta Black Star says, 5 religious practices black people learned during slavery that we still do today. And, just like I just explained, you guys, this is supposed to be about religion or religious practices, but as you can see, they got the picture of Jesus. Apparently, it's supposed to be, I guess, the Last Supper. No, actually, I don't think that's a depiction of the Last Supper. I think that's supposed to be a depiction of when he turned water into wine. So, as you can see, we don't see any images of Islam or Buddhism or anything like that. So, this is basically going to be, it's basically taking a stab at Christianity. But let's go ahead and go to the next clip. Alright, so it says right here, today many black people use a white image to depict Jesus. Africans who practice Christianity before slavery used black images historically to describe their God. I guess he means the people in Ethiopia may have painted Jesus to be black. And I mean, it is kind of true that there are some black people who still got pictures of white Jesus inside of their homes. But, like I've said, if you guys watch my videos, number one, I don't do that. We don't have any pictures of Jesus, inside of our homes or anything like that. We don't even have crosses. So to sit back and say that that's what all black people do, that's already a fallacy in itself. Because number one, in order to make that claim, you got to be able to know what each and every black person does. And there are a lot of black people that I know who don't have images of white Jesus in their home. And what I'm thinking is that these are guys who have, they probably have family members who are older who have these pictures inside of their homes, because to be honest, there is no one that I know personally around my age who have pictures of white Jesus. So let's just go ahead and go to the next clip. Alright, so the next clip shows, I guess this is supposed to be, I guess this looks like a white guy and some African kids, and they're in the robes and all of that stuff. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and point something out here. This is Catholicism, okay? This is not evangelical Christianity, okay? There's a difference, and until people understand the difference between Catholicism and Christianity, evangelical Christianity, putting up pictures like this, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're just basically defeating the purpose. But anyways, go ahead and read this. Enslaved Africans were taught to fear and devalue African religious practice. Today, most black people in the world still don't seek to include traditional African religions. Okay, well, first of all, if you are a Christian, you're not going to continue to hold on to false gods and idols. I mean, Christianity is a totally different religion, in itself. It's so separate from all of these other religions. All of these other religions are man-made and they are man-centered. But Christianity is God-centered. I mean, even Catholicism is man-centered. It's not God-centered. So that's why, I'm not a Catholic, and this is why we have a Protestant church. But, the thing is that Christianity is the total opposite of African practices. All right, African religions and all of this stuff here. Now, if you want to talk about, Egypt and Horus and Isis and all of that stuff, that's the type of religions you're talking about, then yeah, there's going to be a conflict. I mean, it's two things that are contrary to each other. So that's why you're not going to have African practices merged in with Christianity. But let's just go ahead and go to the next clip. Alright, so here we see a black woman with the Bible, holding the Bible. It says, many black people across the world still use the King James Version of the Bible as the final authority of Christianity. Now, there are some King James onlyist type black people who say that that's all they read is the King James Version, you know, or whatever. But it's not just black people. There's a lot of, white people who are King James onlyist. There's a guy named Steven Anderson, and he's a King James onlyist guy, and he believes that the King James Version is the final authority of the Word of God, which is number one, unbiblical. And the King James Version is just nothing but the first legally translated Bible into English, because before that, you had I think it was 3 or 4 Bibles. I know you had the Tyndale Bible, the Wycliffe Bible, and the Geneva Bible. And those 3 Bibles, for example, were illegal, but they were, the first translations from Latin and Hebrew and Aramaic translated into English. But King James legalized the Bible to be legally translated into English, and that's why we have the King James Bible. If you guys watch my videos, I've said that, and I'll continue to keep saying it, as long as it keeps coming up. But I don't hold to the King James Bible as the final authority. Some people like to read it. I don't. I usually choose either the ESV or the NIV. Or the New King James. It doesn't matter. Whatever Bible I have, that's just basically what I read from. But some of these other, biblical translations I kind of don't get into. I think it's the MIT version and the NIT and all of that. I don't read those. But saying that one Bible is just the final authority, that's just unbiblical. But let's just go ahead and go to the next clip. All right, the next clip, you see people, some black people, predominantly women, who are worshiping. And this is probably during a worship session. Say today, many black people focus only on religious dogma that was taught during slavery and colonialism, rather than developing a spiritual relationship with the Creator. That is kind of true that a lot of black people do actually do that in the church. However, it's not all black people, and Christianity is that institution that challenges you to establishing a relationship with the Almighty Creator, and that is the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible is the one and only true Creator. It's not, any of these other false gods, these other false deities. And, it's always interesting when I hear black people, use the word, creator, ultimate creator and all of this stuff. But it's just like, well, then point me in the direction of the ultimate creator. And they say, well, it's not in Christianity. Christianity got, they got some of it right. And then Islam got a little bit of it right. And then Catholicism have a little bit. And then Buddhism. But then it's just like, well, where is this almighty creator? And, well, I don't know. But the Bible clearly lays out who is the creator of all. And that's who we are to establish a relationship with. All right, next clip. All right, so here we are. We have this time we have a group of guys, praising and worshiping. It says the majority of enslaved Africans were taught to no longer honor and connect spiritually with their ancestors. As a result, many black people today devalue the idea of developing a connection with their ancestors. And the reason why is because once your ancestors are dead, they're dead. You can't talk to them. You can't connect with them. All of that necromancy and pulling out the crystal ball and, all of that stuff. That's just a bunch of foolishness. The Bible tells us that the dead know nothing and the dead see nothing. I mean, they're just basically in their grave awaiting judgment day, and that's all that they're doing. They're just basically taking up space in the grave, and they're just waiting for Judgment Day. So there is no reason for us to try to connect with our ancestors. And anyone who thinks that they are connecting with their ancestor is actually connecting with a demon spirit, because your ancestors, they know nothing and they see nothing because they are in the grave. And the only time that you will see them again is either in an eternity with God or in an eternity separate from God. All right, so basically, as you can see, man, this was just basically, geared right at, Christianity. It had nothing to do with other religious practices. They just focused on Christianity the whole time. They didn't, like I said, they never mentioned Islam. There's a lot of black people who are in Islam. There's a lot of black people who have, adopted Buddhism and all of that stuff. So they didn't mention those religions, but they just stuck to Christianity because they love attacking Christianity. The only institution that has ever fought for the freedom and the rights of blacks. But, I digress. That's for another video. But like I said, you guys can go to Atlanta Black Star if you want to see more posts like this. But, in my opinion, it's nothing but fake news and, dogma and all of this stuff. So, these guys really, the writers and the editors and whoever did this blog just was really misinformed about the whole Christian religion. And you can see where they're throwing up pictures of, of Catholics in Africa and stuff like that. But one thing that always gets me is that they're so quick to talk about black Christians and what African Christians are doing and all of this other stuff. But as you can see from that picture, you got a Roman Catholic guy in Africa. You get a lot of evangelical Christians who go on mission trips to help feed these starving African kids. But where are you guys at? I don't see any of these black Americans who are walking around with unks on their necks and they're talking all of this black power stuff. They're not even over there. They're not coming up with money feeding people in Africa who are supposed to be their own people. But you know what they do? They take their money and then they'll go run into Egypt and listen to some guy give his own interpretation of what he see inscribed on an Egyptian wall. But he won't go anywhere else in Africa to say, listen, let's go help feed some people. Let's go help do some things. Let's go over there and put boots on the ground. They won't do that. They'll just sit back and they'll bash Christians for going over there to do that. And Christianity is basically the only institution on the planet that does that the most. But, like I said, it's fake news. And it's just coming from some mindset of people who hate the Bible. But Jesus already forewarned us that there are going to be people who are going to hate us for his name. It's no surprise. We're probably going to see more of it anyway. But I just want to go ahead and make this quick video, you guys. As always, like, rate, share, thumbs up. Drop me a comment in the comment section below. If you guys like what you see, if you guys like this video, I got more videos on the way. I want you guys to check out more of my content and hit that subscribe button, man. But as always, you guys have a blessed day.